Good morning. I wanted to send a quick video based on the drafts that I've seen of your arguments. They're generally very good, but there are a couple of areas that a lot of people are making mistakes, so I wanted to give you some tips on how to address these areas. The first one is someone had actually commented on this on one of the discussion boards. What's the relationship between your source material and your arguments? And I wanted to let you know that your arguments, you're writing an argument. So this is really about what you think. Your ideas should be first. The only purpose of the source material is to back up your arguments, which hopefully are based on the stuff that you've read, your evidence that you've seen in the source material. So just as an example, here's a sample. This one is from our textbook. It's the student sample from Rita Fleming on women in the workforce. And if you look at her topic sentences, some argue that workplace inequity has disappeared as a result of federal legislation that makes discrimination illegal in employment. That is the student's argument, right? It's not the topic sentence is not evidence. It's not a source. There's not a citation there. This happens to be a counter argument too. Some people argue. And here's the concession. It is true that efforts to correct disparities. She does the same thing here. She's got a second counter argument. Some people refuse to believe that women's pay. No, then she backs. Okay, so here's an example of where she's got her argument. This is her point. Some people refuse to believe that women's pay is not equal to men. And she backs it up. A commentator for CNN Money calls the 70 cents argument spurious and bogus. So there's some, that's relationship where you make your point first and then you back it up. And ideally you use the quote sandwich too. Whenever you have a quote or a paraphrase or something that you're citing, a quote, a summary, or a paraphrase, you're going to make your point first, then have the evidence, and then follow that up with the bottom bun of your commenting on why you put that quote in there. See the little video this week on the quote sandwich for that, more on that. And then she gets into her own arguments. So those were the counter arguments. But again, the topic sentences, first sentence of every paragraph is her point. There are many reasons for this inequity. One reason is that most women work in service and clerical jobs. So again, that's her analytical point. And she does the same with others as well. So make sure that your topic sentences are not evidence, but that they're either your arguments, your reasons, your ways of whatever your analytical points are, or counter arguments. And then you back those up with the sources. The second thing I wanted to point out is there seems to be a little bit of confusion about the relationship between the works cited list and the paper. So here's the works cited for this particular student paper. And notice that all of these works cited, whether they're in APA or MLA format, are formatted in a hanging indent style, where the first line is left justified and then successive lines are indented. The purpose of that is so that it's very easy for the reader to see these first words. Whatever these first words are here, most of the time it's a person's last name, okay? But sometimes if there's no author, you have here the American Association of University Women. That is exactly what goes into the in-text citation. So for example, so here there's an in-text citation and it's just the last name, forgot. That is exactly what appears here, and I can very easily find it because this needs to be alphabetized by the first letter of whatever your first word is. So here it's forgot Roth. Here forgot is sufficient. I just need the first word or two, so that enough to identify that it's this one and not Eitzen or Hartman. Sometimes you'll have when there's not an author, you would go to the next possible bit of information. So here's one from a website, and it's a page in a website. Since it's the page in a website, it's in quotation marks. So here it's quotation marks, status of women in the states. And if we look down here, if you look here, the in-text citation is not just status of women, but status of women in quotation marks, because that's the way it appears here. This person equally could have put just status in quotation marks, because that would be enough to say that this would refer me back here. Remember, the purpose of the in-text citation is just one. There's only one purpose of the in-text citation. That's to direct the reader to the works cited list, and that works cited list is where the complete bibliographic information can be found, so that if I wanted to find out more about this, I could find the source based on what is provided here. Hopefully that helps a little bit. I'm working through the drafts. I still have a handful left to do. I will get through them today, probably by tonight, because I've a pretty busy day. But so keep an eye out for those. Also, don't forget, if you haven't yet, to submit your theory of writing too. I just need one page. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just reflecting a little bit on what you've learned so far. But that's very important. It's actually essential. It's required to pass the course to complete the theories of writing. If you have any questions, let me know. Good luck, everybody. Have a good day.